What's going on, guys? So today we are sitting in my man room and we're going to do a little video. So a video that guys have been requesting for me to do is a bag dump. So how I pack all my stuff in my bag, what bag I use, and the equipment that I carry in my bag whenever I go hunt. So unlike a lot of other people, I use a cheap Walmart bag. Right? This is like I think this bag was $24 at Walmart. It's lasted about 4 years. As you can see, the zippers are busted, so on and so forth. So that's the reason we're going to go ahead and do the bag dump video today. Is because I went to Walmart yesterday. I just got this out of the washing machine, washed it twice. It's got the cushion pad on the back, so to get that smell out of it, you need to wash it a few times. So I got me a new bag. And so y'all are going to come along with the ride with me on how to pack this. So I'll start with this new bag. So carrying my camera arm, one thing that I like to make sure that I find in the bag is if you can see that opening, so there's like this sleeve here, right? You're gonna see why that's extremely important here in just a second when it comes to my camera arm. So the big part of the bag is gonna be the last thing that I bring out. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the new bag, set it over here to the side, and right here where everybody can see it, I'm going to lay out all the stuff that's in my bag. So we'll start with the side compartments. Not for any reason, just it's the easiest part to get to. So first thing I carry is a can of camo dust. Any of you guys that don't know what camo dust is, I'm telling you, it is a scent eliminator and it changes the game. So if you haven't checked them out, make sure you check those guys out. You can thank me later. It is what it is. Won't hold it against you. So, looking at the front of the back, I keep that in my side pouch. The only thing that's missing in here on this side pouch is my spit bottle. I keep a spit bottle in there. I dip whenever I'm in a long day sit or an all day sit. I hunt out of lone wolf. They're a little sketchy, and so anyways, if I start getting tired, I'll put a pinch of snuff in, and I'm not going to spit on the ground, right? So I spit in my spit bottle and I'll put it back in here. So, starting here on the front, what I carry up there is my batteries. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I keep 4 spare batteries with me, and then obviously there's one running the camera right now. Other thing I keep up in the front pouch is my rangefinder, just so it's easy accessible. Say I'm walking in, something like that, the way that I pack this on my deer stand. My straps come around the outside so I can access anything that's on the front side of my bag. So, rangefinder. The rangefinder that I use is a Bushnell Prime. I want to say it is the 1200. No, I'm sorry. It's the 1300 Bushnell Prime. To be honest, a rangefinder is a rangefinder to me as long as it's got the arc system in it. I caught this one on sale this year for, I don't know, like 120 bucks, something like that at Bass Pro Shop. I used the original Bushnell arc that came out probably 7, 8 years ago. It's a big blocky thing. I've used it for like the last 7 or 8 years, and this year I finally decided to go upgrade and get a new one that's got a little magnification, and that's the reason for this Bushnell 1300 that I carry now. So that's the very front pouch. Also have face paint. I know a lot of guys like to make fun of that. Say that real men have beards, so you don't need face paint. I don't use face paint to cover my whole face. I use it to try to break up a pattern. It's usually not pretty, so you know, as you catch my videos, you'll notice like it's not all in a perfect design. It is what it is, right? So I use it to break up my face, my neck, that kind of thing, just so it's just not a solid space out there. I'd grow myself a beard, however, number 1, the wife doesn't like the beard. Number 2, Uncle Sam tells me I'm not allowed to. So there it is. If you're not allowed to grow a beard, get you some face paint. That's what I use. All right, moving on to the next one, which happens to be my broke zipper. I actually don't have anything in here, so usually what ends up going in here is my snacky snacks, right? So I'll put me a couple peanut butter sandwiches and an apple in there usually. So this next big pouch here, I keep my camera in it. I'm sorry guys, I can't show you that portion of it because obviously the camera is running right now. But the reason that it goes here is the way that everything fits in my bag. The camera can go here, the straps go around it, so it's not putting any pressure on my camera and there's no damage that happens to my film gear while I'm toting my pack in and out. All right, so the next thing is this top pouch. Number one thing, quick release. I don't shoot some stupid, crazy release. I have, so I went to some thumb releases. I tried the back tension releases. I tried the hook-on releases. And here nor there, I go back to this cheap TrueFire. This is the third one I think I've had. Not because they break, but because I'll lose them. And then, you know, throughout the off season, I'll go buy another one. It is what it is, guys. It's shooter preference, but the TrueFire is what I like to use. Next thing I have is another can of camo dust, and the reason for that is if I forget one, I have a backup plan. The other thing is with the camo dust, it works extremely well, but it doesn't like moisture. So if it's raining, and I have this one that's on the outside of my pack, this pack isn't waterproof, and say it gets water in it and it, you know, gets moisture to the sock, I like to have a backup can for that. So that's the reason that I have that. So that covers all that. Now we're going to get into the actual, well actually we'll do this little pouch up top. So this bag has a little pouch that comes up top. Basically all I keep in there is my little bag holders. So in Missouri, which is where I'm going this weekend, which is what my bag is set up for, you're allowed to use screw-in bag holders. In Arkansas, we're not allowed to. So if you're going to use these screw-in holders, guys, in whatever state you're in, make sure that you double check your rules and regulations so you don't end up with a ticket because you decided to carry a bag holder. So I've got that. I've got my portable phone charger. The reason for that is it's that time of the year, guys. It's rut. The time to kill a deer is the time you can get in the stand. It is what it is. Movement chart might say they're moving in the morning, they're moving in the evening. Well, if that doe decides to get up and stretch her legs and that buck goes to pushing her, you never know when it's going to happen. So I suggest anybody, this is the new Apple one. My wife actually just bought us the iPhone 13s because they have a good camera on them. And basically this one just magnetizes to the back of the phone. That's the reason that I have it. It's actually hers. She just lets me use it because she's super nice whenever I'm doing all day sits. So anyways, that's the next thing that I have up there. And then finally, I have another little hanger. The reason being is these are pretty cheap little hangers. I think they're like 97 cents at Walmart. And I'm bad about breaking them. So I carry two of them. One of them just stays in the bag unless I end up twisting the end off of the other ones. Alright, so that deals with all of the stuff on the outside of this. Next thing we're going to go to is the big pouch. So, in the big pouch, number one, I've got a water bottle. Like I said, guys, this thing is set up for hunting. So, you're going to see a little garbage and stuff like that. But anyways, always carry at least 2 bottles of water with me, and then I'll have an empty bottle as a spitter. So, that's just how I am, right? Next thing I've got, it's that time of the year. I carry a grunt call, whichever grunt call you prefer to use. It's kind of shooter preference. I just went to this grunt call. The name of this company is Mission Game Calls. They're out of Missouri. Matt Ward is the guy's name. You can see a link down here to his calls and to a video where you can actually hear me blowing on this call. But it's a great sounding grunt call. This is the first year I'm running this grunt call. So anyways, I've got that in there. Next thing I have, some plastic bags. There's more in here. The reason being is if I walk in and it's warm, I will put a t-shirt in one of these that has been through a scent bath already. When I get to the base of my tree, I'll change shirts, put on a different shirt, and put the shirt that has the sweat or whatever, you know, maybe a little moisture off my body from walking in. I'll drop it in this bag, stuff it down in the bottom so that, you know, I'm as scent free as possible. That's one good thing about this camo dust, it kind of dries you out. So, you know, if you walk to your stand, you get hot and sweaty on your way in, you can, when you get to the base of your tree, that's usually where I dust down the last time, you can go ahead and dust down and it kind of soaks up a lot of that moisture. So it's another plus about it. All right, so I will tell you, one of the hardest things that I had to do this year was figure out how to pack all my camera gear. So I used the Muddy Outfitter camera arm. The reason being, so this is the base, right? So just a quick tutorial. It's got this little string here, and so what you can actually do is take a hook, screw it into the tree, and then hang this on there so that you can cinch your cinch strap. But what I have noticed that really works out for me is if you hook this on your arm. So I put my thumb kind of through it like that there. Hook it on your arm, you've got your tree here. Gives you the opportunity to hold your ratchet strap while you pull your slack line back around and hook it into there. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but I promise you, any of you guys that are new to this Muddy arm, that's a little pro tip. Enjoy it. I fought with this thing probably 10 times getting in and out of the stand before I realized what works. So anyways, there's the top part of it. So, if you remember me talking about, well, I guess we'll go ahead and go through here. So the next thing I got is a Pursuit bow holder. I prefer to use the long ones. The only reason is if you watch my videos, I put it up here above me, about I don't know, a foot over my head. It kind of keeps my bow right here. For me, that works. It gives me an opportunity that I can shoot underneath my bow hanger. And having that longer one, it keeps my bow out here in front of me. So it's just a cheap Pursuit bow hanger. You can buy them at Walmart. Depending on which brand you get, they're like from $12.99 to like $18.99. So, all right. So if you remember me talking about this part of this bag at the very beginning, the reason that comes in clutch now, as you can see, I'm going to kind of roll this back. And that's where the rest of my camera arm goes. And the reason that that's clutch is if you notice, this folds flat. The fluid head that I chose to use, I went through 2 of them. The fluid head that I use is a B-free. I got it on Amazon, I think it was like 89 bucks. The only negative side really about it is it's got that little red spot here. But one of the reasons that I went with it is it has a level. So this Muddy Outfitter comes with a level here, but you'll notice if you get one of these fluid heads, so it'll be level at the tree, but once you get it out away from the tree, your actual fluid head and your camera won't be level. So I will tell you, if you are looking to getting a fluid head, make sure that you check and see if you can find one that has a level on it. It makes a hell of a difference for your videos. It just keeps everything more level. So anyways, the new tool. So I just went to this. This is a record, so this is a Very Zoom RL100. Again, I bought it off Amazon. I think it was like 125 bucks, something like that. I went the cheap route at first with a Zoom controller or whatever. So basically it goes here. This runs up and it plugs into my camera on top. And so I can move this around and it doesn't get tangled up. The reason that I have the Very Zoom is I went the cheap route. I think the one that I bought first was like $21 on Amazon, and it lasted like 3 hunts. So this is just a whole lot better made controller, I guess you'd say, remote, whatever it is. And it seems to work really well. I enjoy it. So yeah. The other thing about this B-free, sorry, I'm going to jump back there. It's got a bunch of different adjustments. So you know, if it's moving too freely, be free, you can loosen, you can tighten this up. Same thing with your turning side to side. And then lastly, I like it because of this knob. So I can unscrew this depending on, so some trees isn't always going to be perfect, right? So you can't have your camera, I like to set my camera about waist high when I'm standing. The reason being is whenever I sit back down, it's about eye level. So I don't really have to adjust my view screen on my camera. I can run it from sitting down or standing up. So the good thing about this one is it has an adjustable handle. And the big thing about that is you know, if the tree doesn't allow me to put it waist high and I've got it up above me a little ways, I can always adjust this down so that I can still grab it right here and move it. The other thing about it is if it's lower, I can adjust it to be high so that I'm above it and I'm not having to reach way down or way up to be able to work the camera. That's the big deal, guys, if you get one of these, about getting one of these controllers. It really comes in clutch. I videoed 2 hunts, I think, at the end of the last year with a whole lot cheaper camera. I was using a Sony Handycam, and you can definitely tell the difference in the footage from the 4K to the Sony Handycam. But I didn't have one of these on this, and anyways, it's just a lot more difficult trying to reach up on top of the camera to make your adjustments when you can spend just a little bit of money and get one of these. So definitely check those things out. And then let's see what else we have in here. The next thing, and something that I have carried with me since I was a kid that I actually don't use a whole lot, is the Primo's can. So I cannot say but one time, my entire hunting career, life, whatever, I know for a fact this worked one time. Myself and a buddy named Philip were hunting in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and I set him up about 100 yards from me, and a 7-point, it's actually back here on the wall, but a 7-point came down in between us, and anyways, it was about dead in between us. Neither of us could get a shot at it, and he was grunting and banging horns together trying to get that deer in closer. It wouldn't work, and I actually pulled out the can because that was the only thing Philip didn't have, and I ended up shooting the deer at 26 yards. He come into it. So yeah, I carry one of these with me. Like I said, I don't use it very often. I'm not knocking it. I know guys that use them all the time, but for me, it is a last resort. I don't like to use a doe bleat. Like I said, there's nothing against it. It's just all about preference, and I don't like to use a doe bleat because it's probably mostly because I'm a pretty aggressive caller. I like to call aggressively. With my grunt calls, I leave them on a mature buck grunt. I use a bigger set of shed horns or rattling horns. So yeah, that's the story on that. So that is my bag gun, guys. So if you want to stick around just a few minutes, you can run through this little portion with me of how I'm going to set everything up in my new bag. So if you're going to get a new bag, start with your big items, right? That's the best thing, the best advice I can give you is start with your big items. So what we're going to start with, obviously, is the camera arm. So I already know from my old bag what worked. Will that work with this one? Have no idea. Just know that if Walmart still carried the original bag that I had, that would be the bag that I would still buy now, but they do not carry that one anymore. That model's gone. Like I said, I bought it 5 or 6 years ago. So, all right. So, awesome. It fits. It stretches, but it fits. It's a new bag too, so remember that. Like it's gonna form. It's gonna stretch out a little bit. This one's got a lot of clips on it. If you noticed on my old bag, you didn't see a whole bunch of those because I actually cut all of them off. The reason for that is I end up with so much crap in my bag that they're just hanging anyway, so I might as well cut them off so they're not bothering me. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna start there. So we've got our camera arm again and what I'll call like the paper pouch on the back of it, right? So we'll start there. Next big ticket item we've got is my my base to my camera arm. So when I'm putting my base in my bag, what I tend to do, so let me back up just a second. So all of your stuff, right, you're trying to keep from damaging your gear when you put it in here. So remember where your stuff's at. So the way I set this up now is going to be the way that I will set it up for the rest of the time that I'm running it, right? So I know that down here on this right-hand side is where my zoom button's at, right? So I'm going to try to keep pressure off of that spot. And then I know my camera's going to go in the middle. So that's going to dictate how I'm going to set this in my bag. So could I set it like this? Probably. But I'm going to have these big hooks. So that's the way I'm going to try it first, right? So let's attempt that. I know my zoom button's on this side. So we're going to go down below the zoom button. So this bag's a little bit bigger than my other one, and it was on purpose. So it actually works out perfect like that. So you can see here, the zoom button is on this side, so there's no pressure that's going to be on that. So now I've got my block there. The next thing that I'm going to do is move to my bow hanger. So now I've got my bow hanger in there. So all of the way I like to do it is I have everything that I'm going to need as soon as I get in the stand in one location. So boom, there it is. I'm good to go. The only pouch that I'm going to have to open up as soon as I get there to hang my camera stuff, which is the heavy stuff in my bag. So I'll get up, I'll set my stand, take my backpack off, set it on my seat. I'll move straight into the camera arm to get it on there because it's the heaviest stuff I have in my bag, right? So I get my camera arm on there, good to go. So now, just looking through this, like I said, we're going through this together, right? So looking through this, I've got this nifty little zip pouch here. I'm actually probably gonna go ahead and my screw-ons. I think that seems like a good spot for them, at least to start out with. I might end up changing it later, don't know, maybe, maybe not. So I'm gonna go there with that. This bag's bigger, so camo dust, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in this front pouch. Reason being, it gives me a pretty solid spot for my camera to lean up against. Battery charger. Looking inside of this, over here to the side, we've got another little pouch here. So I guess I could turn this way so you guys could actually see what I'm talking about. We've got another little pouch here on the back, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop it there. I'm going to assume that this guy looks like it is made perfectly for my rangefinder. So let's try that. Yep, rangefinder fits in there like a glove. I will tell you that after this video is done, I will go get me a pair of scissors and I will cut this. I do not like Velcro. Again, I do not like Velcro. It makes noise. I'm just not a huge fan of it in the woods. So there's my little spiel on that. So got that stuff set up in there. I feel pretty good about it. The next thing that I've got to do is find a place for my camera batteries. So I know this pocket that's on the front, it doesn't have anything on it. I'm gonna call that my ditch pocket. And whenever I bought this bag, I thought about that then. And so when I'm running my camera batteries, right, the last thing you wanna do is be running down. I usually change my camera batteries, by the way, whenever they're at about 30 minutes. These Canon batteries, I have been getting 2 hours to 2.5 hours out of them, even the replacement batteries that you can buy on Amazon. I think they're about $25 a piece for a battery. When you buy the camera, it comes with one, and then I have bought 2 packs of extra ones. They come with the charger. If you buy them with the charger, I think they're like 60 bucks. So there's that. One thing that I like to do though is make sure that I have somewhere to ditch them when they're bad, so that I'm not reaching in my bag, making a whole bunch of noise throughout the hunt, swapping batteries in and out to figure out which battery is the good one versus which one's the bad one. So I'm going to start inside of this middle pack. I've got this. That is where I'm going to start with my camera batteries. So they're going to go in there. Next thing is going to be the calls. Like I said, I don't use this call much, so I usually put it in the very, very bottom of the bag. Quick release, don't care what anybody says, quick release is super important, so make sure that you put it in a pouch that zips. This little side pocket over here looks outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in there. I still have a water bottle holder on this side, so we'll just go ahead and take the water bottle and put it there. Lastly, we've got our grunt card, almost lastly. So inside of here, next to this phone charger, I think that seems like a pretty solid spot right there. I like to try to get everything as flat as I can whenever I'm packing it. My face paint, I'm actually going to go ahead and put it in here with my bag hangers. So now we have all of that. Do it like this. Cannot forget my bag. Let's see how all this goes together once it's zipped up. Awesome. So there you have it. And actually, I like this bag already way more than my other one. So you hear that? The one thing in the bag that I'm going to have to adjust is that little call, because it's obviously going to make some noise and I don't like it. So I will end up taking that call and putting it in one of these other pouches. It's super simple. It is what it is. The only other thing is, if you see this big pouch that's here that doesn't have a zipper on it, that will 150%, I've already actually tested it, that is where my camera is going to go. I like to keep my camera on the very outside so that it's getting the least amount of pressure and has the least chance of getting damaged by my other gear that's inside my pack. The one thing that you haven't noticed me getting out is my pull-up rope. So here's the base of my lone wolf stand. It's not in the house for the purpose of video. Actually, I bought a lone wolf sidekick. It's a bow holder, and I'm trying to figure out how to manipulate this stand so that that will work on here for Arkansas, because here in Arkansas we can't use screw-in hangers. So As of right now, I have a strap that goes around the tree that has a couple of J hooks on it, and that's what I use. So it is what it is. Gotta do what we gotta do here. So anyways, the way that this thing ends up packing, I put my little seat there, I set this on top, and I roll on with it. One big takeaway, guys, that I want everybody to kind of realize with these bags is if you just notice, like I put all this stuff in this bag. This is a $29 bag from Walmart. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to go buy one of these $300 bags made by some big corporation or big company just to tote your stuff. You can absolutely use one of these cheaper bags. They're going to work just as well. At the end of the day, a bag is a bag, right? So a bag's made to hold your stuff. You can go buy one of these guys, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to hold your stuff. Don't go spend $300 on a bag. This is a $29 bag from Walmart. It works just as great as those $300 bags. So anyways, yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys for coming by today. Yeah, that's my bag gun. So anyways, guys, we'll see you later this week, at the beginning of next week, depending on when we decide to drop this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And by all means, if you have something you want to see reviewed, you have something you want to see done, let me know down there in the comments, and we'll see if we can make that happen. And lastly, don't forget to hit that little bell up at the top. You never know when we're going to do a video over a piece of gear that you didn't know that you needed, or like today, you know, a $30 bag versus a $300 bag. So check it out, guys. That's my hunting pack. That's what I use day in, day out as I go in the woods from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. I believe in calling all year long, so yeah, I carry all my stuff every time. The only thing you didn't see here is my rattling horns, and it's because they're already packed away for my hunting trip that I'm fixing to go on. But just know, when I strap everything down, I just strap them onto the outside of my bag. I actually don't even put them in there. When I climb up the tree, I hook them through the little side hooks, and I put it on my back and I go up. So again, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all later.